I'm particularly proud of Troop 1 in Honesdale because we are the oldest continuing Boy Scout troop in America. 117 years of scouting here in Northeast Pennsylvania. In 107 years, we've had almost 150 Eagle Scouts, which is the highest rank that a boy can get in the scouting program. One of the fun things that we've done in our past is in 2011, we did a 100-mile bike ride in one day up Pine Creek Valley in honor of our 100th anniversary. One of our scout leaders is leading the troop in making solar panel chargers for phones and iPads and things like that. So when we're out in the mountains, we can still send our photos back to mom and dad. We have the motto of leave no trace. We are based on Indian lore and know how to walk through the woods without leaving a trace.
The Wayne County Arts Alliance is a nonprofit organization with volunteers supporting and the artists in our community, and also promoting flourishment of the arts with students ranging all the way up to, adults. The Wayne County Arts Alliance was established in 2002. Yanni Glycocalis was one of the founding members, and since then it's just been growing and is such a wonderful part of Honesdale and Wayne County. The Wayne County Arts Alliance will put on a number of fundraisers throughout the year, of course, but then we are also working with our artists to promote their shows. We can put on, we do put on a few shows specifically for our members, and we also hold classes, and we work with students and have classes, so there's a number of things that we like to do in the community. As a photographer and artist myself, it's just a nice way to help other artists that may not have a way to get their work out there and shown. We can all work together, and it's just a nice community organization. Even though Honesdale is such a small town, there's such a wide diversity of people that live here. So having the Arts Alliance can help these artists.
Northeasters Barbershop Chorus began and continued from 1979. And because barbershopping was started really to formalize the casual singing that happened on the street corners and the barbershops back in the 1930s and before. We average about two times a month going out to the community. We sing for nursing homes, and so locally we have adopted the local Fair Hill Therapeutic Riding Academy. And this is a riding academy that helps children and adults, but mostly children, to get over their whatever hang-ups they have with the music, with the horses and the rhythm that goes with that. So we support their fundraisers. We go and entertain for them, and also take a portion of our annual show and support them significantly.
Canaltown originated with a desire to create kind of a mechanism for other folks who are creating things to plug those creations into the grander community, and then have that be a platform reflected back out so other people can enjoy those creations. Lately, where I see a lot of the movement in the downtown resurgence that we've been lucky enough to have here in Honesdale has been coming from the people from the ground up, and it's kind of this marriage of kind of the creative artistic community maybe, with a little bit of like the entrepreneurial spirit of young business owners and people kind of blazing their own trail that matches what they really want to do, what they're really passionate about, but also is like deeply connected to what's already here. I think one of the paths forward for us that we've collectively been availing ourselves to is the idea that if we all can kind of take our own little, stake in the community that we can carry our flag forward with, and then match that up with what we all already have and do a little bit of sharing of existing resources. So it's maybe less of that traditional, like, this is my territory, this is yours, we stay away from each other attitude, and more of, you have this, we have this, you may have that, and our goals overlap a little bit, and where we can come together in the middle means, prosperity for all of us. The second Saturday is a great celebration of local businesses, artists, and even just community members in general. So it's a way where monthly, everyone comes together and brings whatever they want to the table. It's really like a, let's say like a social cultural potluck, and it's available for everybody. It's kind of, not any one entity owns it, and more so it's something for everybody and is everybody. So we'll have, you know, art galleries, we'll have movie showings, we'll have game nights. We've had improv performances. There's always a lot of music and all of those forces kind of spiral around just this one date, which ends up being kind of a local holiday. And we put a map together for it, and we all get together. And we've had expressions of it where, you know, hundreds of people are flowing around town, and we've had expressions of it where there's only a dozen in the middle of winter during a snowstorm, but it's always great, and we've kept it going for 2 years now.
Back in 1990, a group of people determined that there was a need for housing for certain groups of people, and they bought into the Habitat for Humanity plan, and they formed it back in 1990. And originally they started doing mostly rehabs, because they didn't have the money built up in order to be able to build a house and put it into that and then be able to sell it to the people. And for the first 5 years, they did rehabs and put people in the homes that way. And then they started building homes, you know, one at a time. And we've tried to build one home a year for people. We just completed our 21st home here, which I think is just fantastic when you think about a small community like we have here in Wayne County, and that we've been able to build 21 homes for people and put people in those homes. But I think the biggest thing for me is when you hand the keys to the people. When you see how appreciative they are, and the fact that they never thought they could ever have a home, and this is their opportunity to get a home. And the volunteers who show up, and the pride that they put in doing the work and doing the best they possibly can so they can build the best possible home for these people.
Like the kitchen in a home, I feel that our public library is very reflective of the community, and it's the heart. We don't necessarily look at ourselves anymore as just a library. We're a community center and a hub, and a place for people to come and meet and learn and be entertained and have fun. Our early literacy programs are fantastic, and they give toddlers and their parents a chance to come together. The kids get to learn, the parents get to learn from each other. You know, people in this area are very isolated, so it gives them an opportunity to come together, bring their kids together, get them socialized, and to build their own socialization circles. Libraries will always reinvent themselves to be what their community needs. And what they need is trustworthy resources. So I see the Library of the Future as being simply another place that we have kind of reinvented ourselves to meet the needs of wherever the community goes.
Well, the Women's Club was formed in 1939 by a group of women that were interested in promoting friendliness in the town and educational and cultural events, and just making it a better place for people to live. And so we're celebrating our 80th anniversary in 2019. Well, some of the beautification projects include the 22 planters that we purchased and own and refill every year that go out on Main Street and over in front of the courthouse and down at the end of town. The members of the club get together every spring, plant them, get them ready, and then the planters go out on the street before the music festival in June and stay out through October. We have them off of the street at the end of October in case of an early snowstorm, which is a good idea these days. You never know when it's going to snow. So we take care of the planters. The club's major fundraiser for the year, for the money that we donate back to the community, is the Art and Antique Show, which is held every July, the second weekend of July. We have approximately 50 artists and antique dealers that come into the middle school up on Grove Street. And those are the funds that we use to give back to the community, about $10,000 a year.
Everybody has a project in this community, and no project can be done with just one person. So This whole community supports everybody's groups, such as the Walk of Honor we have in Honesdale. There's 168 cemeteries in Wayne County. We've had volunteers walk every single one of those cemeteries and log every veteran buried in those cemeteries. So now there's a memorial at the courthouse that has 20 podiums with almost 7,000 veteran names and their dates on it, and they have a number right before their name where you can go up to the top of the monument and see what cemetery that person's buried in. And then we have a large monument at the head of it that shows all the branches of service.
The Honesdale River Project is an idea to bring trails along the river in Honesdale. We have a long history of use of the river in Honesdale. I was looking at the Historical Society through some photos or old paintings, pictures of people ice skating on the river, of a river walk promenade, and so just to think about bringing a trail back through Honesdale along the river is just a really kind of a nice idea to think about. So what started with this Honesdale River project of how do we get some trail along the river in Honesdale has quickly turned into the Wayne Pike Waterways and Trail Alliance, which is actually a consortium of all these groups that are talking about how could we have a connected trail system in Honesdale that would take us all the way to Hawley. And that's kind of the exciting part. They can also hop in their canoe or their kayak and take a water trail down through from Honesdale down to Hawley. But the exciting piece is, so you have the recreation of walking or biking, as well as the historical pieces along the old canal route, and you can take the train if you prefer. So there's really, it's a multimodal trail system that will point out some of the history of our town from the canal days, from the glass factory days, all the way through to today, of just enjoying the scenic nature of this Wayne County area. There's so many historical pieces to this town, and to be able to bring those alive and to think about this historic walking tour as well as the recreational piece, it's just going to be a wonderful project.
We do trolley rides, and I sit on that trolley for like 8 hours, and people can jump on and off all day for free. And I just tell you our local history. I tell you about the canal that was in town, but I actually point it out to you. It's usually freezing cold. And we get them all lined up, and then at 6 o'clock on the dot, they know I'm right on schedule. They start heading down Main Street, and all the kids are there. And the very last one is Santa Claus that comes in a Santa bus. And then we go into the park, and we light the Christmas tree. So we're passing out candles and stuff, and we sing Christmas carols. And then there's the big moment that Santa lights the star up on Irving Cliff. So, and that's like the start of the whole Christmas season.
Well, when I think back, my great-grandmother taught at a one-room schoolhouse. And it was just a little outside of Honesdale, like a few miles, but she lived in Honesdale. And so to know that it started there, and that's where my great-grandfather taught before he came and was teaching at the high school. And so to think that at the one-room schoolhouse, it's been described that my great-grandmother had to do more than just be a teacher. She was the nurse. She was in charge of so many more activities. I think that Honesdale has given me so many opportunities, and that it has definitely prepared me for more than just living in Honesdale. Like, I'll be able to go out and know that I can receive a great education at a university because of all of the lessons I've been taught from living in Honesdale, and I know that I'll be able to come back to Honesdale and to continue to teach these lessons and work with other people. Yeah, I think I'm able to see the dedication that each teacher puts into it, whether some students don't recognize it or not, because like my great-grandmother, she taught for 30 years, and then once she retired, she continued to sub until she was 80. So like, you can just see that like the teachers do have a true passion for what they're doing, even if at some times people might not recognize it.